Yeah, buddy. What up? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. Blood Splatter Chatter, Berno, and the missing link with you to talk Guillermo. Oh, I always struggle with that one. The only way I can say it is if I do the accent. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein from 2025. Man, what up, my brother? Appreciate you being here as always.
Of course, happy to be here to talk about this this modern classic. Recently watched it's just crazy how this lines up. Recently covered Fellowship of the Ring over at Robbie's channel.
Right.
And this is like just the synchronicity of it's like, you know, I had said like they don't really make films like this anymore, and then here comes fucking Frankenstein. Rare example in this day and age, but it can still be done.
Right. It's I was a little well, there's another one coming out that I was like kind of getting it mixed up with. There's The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, starring Christian Bale as the monster, bunch of other people in it. So that's what I was like when it came out. I'm like, okay, which one is it? So this one, it's on Netflix, which is already for something this epic. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's one of the bigger movies, maybe not the biggest, but maybe one of the bigger movies to be like straight to Netflix that we've had. And just like it's so like epic. It seems like something that is like made for the cinema in every way. Like you talked before about Netflix movies, they tend to be kind of shot in a more bland way, something that people could watch on their phone. And don't get me wrong, this is still going to look great on your phone. I actually watched it on my iPad one of the times that I watched it. But this, none of that. I mean, as far as like the cinematography, so cinematic, so gorgeous, just like slaps you in the face. Like there's nobody that can walk away from this and not, I was gonna like not even enjoy it. Like you would have to almost enjoy this movie.
To appreciate some
just because of how beautiful it is, man. Aside from the story and the performances and everything, but really,
they haven't confirmed it, but the rumor has it, and the film kind of is indicative of it, that they gave Del Toro final cut, which is very important, for when it comes to. So it's pretty much he had like one of the highest budgets they've given to a movie.
I wonder that's what I was about to bring up right now. What was that one that the Russo brothers did? You know what I mean? Like
Electric
that one seemed like
that was up there. Yeah, I think I to be honest, I haven't even finished that movie. But I'm kind of curious as to like where all the money went.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
like this one was $120 million, and there's no like the box office is like 400,000 because there's a limited release, like it's been in theaters.
Yeah.
How does this work? I mean, I guess I know how it works. How it works is Netflix gets a certain amount of subscriptions based on having shit that nobody else has. You know what I mean? And that's what everyone's doing. Somebody way smarter than me has crunched the numbers and been like, okay, this makes sense to do. So it's really interesting. What up to the chat real quick? SoCal Dan, my man, popping in here like an hour and a half before the stream. And then Rogue, I appreciate it. Popping in, let us know that he's going to the theater. He's going to see
Was that out?
Keeper.
Nice.
And he's going to check on the rewind. Jay's heard, my brother. I missed you last week, Jays. We needed you for the trivia. You could have won. It was Dylan. Dylan won, but you could have gave him a run for his money. But what up to everybody in the chat?
I forgot what I was going to say.
That's all right. Then I can jump into what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Just Del Toro, man. So I told you, I was like, there's this movie. I watched Frankenstein. And then I talked to you, and I was like, "This makes me want to. I want to watch a bunch of other shit before I watch it again." And I was like, "It's limited." Do I watch the original Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein? Right. I didn't do that. I was like, I kind of want to watch Nosferatu because that's the other movie. Like we can definitely compare and contrast a little bit, right? It's like so like in this, in a similar vein, but way different at the same time. I didn't watch that. I haven't seen Shape of Water. I've seen way fewer Del Toro movies than I haven't seen. I haven't seen a bunch of his stuff. But anyway, I'm like, well, maybe I'll watch Shape of Water because that's another like kind of, it's supposed to be gorgeous. Cinematography. There's a monster, there's a love story. But instead I watched Blade 2 and Hellboy. It's like the ones that really have nothing to do with this. But bro, I don't even think I've ever seen, and that's kind of my point. I've seen Blade 2 100 times. And then once I put it on, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is the one that I've seen like a lot. The one with Daryl from The Walking Dead, Remus.
Yeah.
But Hellboy, bro, I honestly don't think I've ever seen it. I might have seen it when it came out. I know it's like huge to so many people. Just like before we even get into that, like just between those two movies, Blade 2 and Hellboy, which one do you kind of prefer more?
Well,
you guys,
I'll be honest. Blade 2,
What's your favorite Del Toro movie? Are you hi on my brother? What's up, Sal? What's going on, guys? What's your
Favorite Del
favorite Del
Toro
Toro
movie?
movie out there? Well, no, I just want to ask you, like, between those two in the chat, feel free to answer that.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
because
well,
those two
yeah,
that I watch, they're so similar. You know what I mean? To
I
each other.
think Hellboy is a stronger film, but I think I enjoy Blade 2 more. Just it's like a comfort thing. I know the beats, I know
Right,
I
right.
know the characters, that universe to an extent. It's Marvel. I haven't read extensively like Hellboy. It's not really my jam. I respect
Right.
it, but it's not something I'm too keen on. But
Same.
I think like stylistically, like cinematically, maybe even structurally, I have to go back and re-examine that just because it's like Blade's such a seamless action movie, you know, like it's almost too much of an action movie, but it's great. It's great.
High on saying Shape of Water is a masterpiece. That's the one, like I said, that's the one I should have watched just to have a, a better idea of the movies that he's done that are like this. Crimson Peak is the other one that I also haven't seen from like 2015.
I gotta rewatch that one, man. I remember not being too keen on it.
Yeah, so it was out Halloween with my neighbors. Yeah, all good, brother, all good.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. What I was gonna say is just between those two movies before we get into Frankenstein, and I guess I'll probably re-say this when Link gets back, but I enjoyed Hellboy. I think it's exactly what Link said. It's a much better film. I could then Blade 2. I could see people liking Blade 2 because it's kind of like cooler if you like Blade. It's more of a horror thing. You got vampires in it. But as far as like a well-made movie, I thought Hellboy was badass and just looks super good. Like they're made 2 years apart, and I thought Hellboy looked like it came out 10, 15 years after Blade 2. As even like just like the way it looked, the CG in it, the performances. The other thing I just like Hellboy almost, he's a cooler character. You get in touch a little bit more with him than you do with Blade. Pan's Labyrinth, probably my favorite. That's one that we covered like last year was Fable's pick, like a while back when we talked about it. Sal saying, "Hell yeah, Hellboy was great." For whatever reason, Pam's Labyrinth, I love it, but there's like I cannot put I didn't give it a 5, and I don't know why. It's almost too good. It's like a perfect looking movie. There's something about I think it's like the characters in it. There's something about it that I don't connect
Sorry,
with.
my brother. So I had some
All good.
loud background noise. I had to ask them.
All good. Basically, what I told them talking about Blade 2 and Hellboy, I agree with exactly what you said. Kind of like I think Hellboy is the better movie, shot a little bit better. I could see why people would prefer Blade 2, but I really, really liked Hellboy. I think it's definitely like the better movie. It might not be as cool as Blade, but the other thing about Blade 2 is that it kind of does what a lot of superhero movies do. Like once you get into the sequel, it's more about the villains and all the side characters than it is like Blade 1 is more of a movie about Blade, and Blade 2 is a movie about all sorts of shit.
You read my mind because I was just gonna say like it's almost not fair because it's like Blade 2, one of the key pieces that makes it memorable is the villain Nomak, bro. Like he's such a fucking, wow. You don't have that, and it's like you said, Hellboy 1 is more focused, like Blade 1. It's more focused on the origin of the heroes or whatever. Then the sequel, crazy enough, Hellboy 2. You haven't seen it, Golden Army.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty underrated. Then it came out like a month or a few weeks before The Dark Knight, so it got overlooked like shit, man. But Nomak, who plays the villain in Blade 2, plays the villain in Hellboy 2. He's like this prince of elves. Really? And shit. He's pretty bad. Yeah, it's badass. But
in Blade 2, he kind of reminds me of Frankenstein in this one a little bit. Just with his look. He's bald, he's got the hood on and everything. I was like, oh shit. There's an autopsy scene in Blade 2 that I watched right after seeing Frankenstein. I was like, oh shit, like he's already kind of done this before. Way more horrific in Blade 2 and like gnarly looking, but really fucking crazy looking in this one too.
Have you ever heard of The Strain by any chance?
The Strain? It does sound vaguely.
It was like a it was like a vampire show on FX they did back in like 2017, I want to say, around there. It ran for like 3-4 seasons, but it had like essentially his design of vampire from Blade 2, where it's like they got the jaws and shit, the alien shit,
right? Like Predator looking.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't think FX was the right channel for it, oddly enough. Even though FX, they've gotten better now, Alien Earth, but around that time,
Strain, the
yes, The
Strain,
Strain,
right?
the
Yeah.
Strain, yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but no, I've never seen it. But okay, so yeah, there's the Pacific Rim, never seen. Pan's Labyrinth, just saw
I love
last year.
Pacific Rim. That's such a
Nightmare Alley, never saw. Pinocchio, I did see. I didn't really love it.
Nightmare Alley.
I guess
His
yeah, that
last
was the other
couple
one that he did
films.
for Netflix.
Which one? Sorry.
The Pinocchio one that he did for Netflix,
Yo,
which
yeah,
was
yeah.
good. I just didn't get. I don't even know if I finished it. Like I wasn't really into it, but it looked amazing.
Nightmare Alley was an interesting one. It had Bradley Cooper. Like that, I gotta rewatch that one. Don't remember being the biggest fan. I didn't
I
hate
mean,
it.
the cast is crazy. Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Toni Collette,
Yeah,
Willem Dafoe, Richard
Michael
Jenkins.
Shannon.
But anyway, for this one, I will just say I fucking loved it, man. It's so epic. It's ridiculous. You know what? Like I kind of miss that they don't make enough movies like this anymore. I feel like, or at least ones that I see that get popular
Absolutely.
are movies that take place over someone's like the course of their life, or even like a long time. Like I love movies like Dazed and Confused that take place in a day, but there's something different about like you spend like someone's entire life together. Even the monster, like you're with them for some years in this one.
What I liked about, man, I hate to bring it up, like I think like Nosferatu was fine for what it was, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a expert knowledgeable person on either of. I haven't read the novels for either, but I feel like he Del Toro kind of even though I haven't read it, it feels like he was almost like more faithful in a sense, but put his own little spin on it. That it
On the
organically fit.
Frankenstein book.
Yeah. As
Mhm.
opposed to like Nosferatu. Like I don't know. There's something about Nosferatu that was a little boring at times.
Right.
A little boring.
I think this one, comparing the two, I feel like Frankenstein is more like cinematic. It's more like there's more realism in Nosferatu.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
And the
yes.
character, I think a lot of times, like Del Toro, I find his characters to be kind of cold. But I find it like way less cold in this than in Nosferatu. Like I thought it was great performances in that one, but I didn't like connect to the characters the way that I connected to the characters in this one. Like not even close. Like these people seemed lifelike. Sometimes like when people, it's old school, people are talking funny, you don't really relate to them.
Yes,
but this not at all. Even though it was
yeah.
lit, it was lit more like a movie, and Nosferatu is lit like you're there in the actual place and everything, which is cool. They're both cool for their own thing, but this one I think is definitely a more enjoyable watch.
And I like the dynamic or the contrast with like the whole parental, I don't know what you want to call it, like sometimes parents can pass on shit to kids that it's like generational curses, or it's like vicariously living through their children. Like Victor,
I need to see this one, Sal, by the way. I hear great things about Devil's Backbone.
Yeah, good ghost story. But it's exploring the theme that, like, he didn't want to be like his father, but it eventually kind of did become his father. And there's just like little cool moments, like where he was his father. And it's like, for instance, the scene where he's like setting the castle up to blow it up, and he like walks out and he hears Frankenstein yell Victor, and he like, it's the scene reminds me of like when a parent hears their child's in distress, the way he had like stopped suddenly and just had that, he was fucked up for doing that, but it's like how he had that second thought thing. And
I love like even the explosion right there, his leg, the look of when his leg gets hit with that stone,
barely hanging on, bro.
Wow,
I love the details,
bro. I have not seen this, Hayan. I have not seen Robert De Niro's version of Frankenstein.
Oh, is that the
Juni Ito's Frankenstein manga? Also interesting, dude. There's so many. It's kind of like Dracula, but not nearly as much. There's so many versions of Frankenstein that I've never even heard of, that I was kind of looking up this week. Is there any? Have you watched like? Yeah, okay. I Frankenstein. That's it's like a big one. It's one you hear about. I don't think I've even seen that. The original and Bride of Frankenstein, and Curse of Frankenstein, which I only saw a few years ago. Did you do that
Yeah.
on Robbie's channel this year, by the way?
Yes. Yeah. Oh no no. Yes, I did. Sorry.
Can you think? Have you seen any other ones? Like, are there any like big ones that are actual Frankenstein adaptations, not poor things, things that are just
Like
inspired
he,
by it, or
yeah,
Frankenhooker, or even Pieces? I was looking for my Frankenstein shirt, I couldn't find it. Then I was like, oh, this is Pieces is pretty much a Frankenstein.
it's
It's
Frankenstein.
inspired by Frankenstein. But
Yeah.
is there any that you can think of that you enjoyed that were like big and popular?
You know what? I might just be blinking, but I
Right.
feel like it's almost like a. I think it's not like a werewolf situation. I think we get more banger Frankenstein flicks than werewolf flicks. But I don't. I don't. I think like vampires and zombies are like when it comes to like you have even though it's a lot of shit that comes with those genres, you get
Mhm.
consistent hits as well. Frankenstein, I feel like might be far and few. You know, I can't like unless it's Frankenstein inspired. You know, something like that. Like I
Right.
think there's a lot of Frankenstein inspired films, but
Man, I'm looking right now. And of course, there's Young Frankenstein is another one,
yes,
but
yeah,
it's a different thing. I'm looking right now, bro, and there's like not one. There's like I've got a list of Frankenstein movies, and I don't know one of them. There's
yeah.
Victor Frankenstein came out in 2015
Is it
with
the one with
what's his
Daniel
face,
Radcliffe
Daniel Radcliffe and James
and James
McAvoy.
McAvoy? Yeah, okay, I saw that one. That was it was alright.
You know what's
I
funny?
I
Charles
looked at
Dance is in that, who plays the guy from Game of Thrones that plays Victor Frankenstein's dad in this
the
one.
dad, yo, yeah, with Evil Eye
He
from Last Hero. Yeah.
he plays Baron Frankenstein in that. I would assume that that's Victor's dad. Is that right? Do you know?
I can, you know, honestly, I was just saying, like, I would like to. I saw that before I was a horror fan, so I was a little
Right.
bit more harsher critically of it. I'd like to revisit that one. I honestly can't. I just remember thinking it was a little boring, but
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, this basically my point is long-winded way of saying, even though I haven't seen most of these, I think this is going to go down as like the greatest one outside of the originals, outside of the
oh,
Universal Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. It's going to be like the
easily,
other definitive version of the story.
yeah. It feels like a classic Universal tale at its heart, you know, but it's just got
Hmm.
like that Del Toro flavor spin to it. Speaking of Frankenstein, bro, like I've heard of the actor. You know, we've actually covered a movie that the Mortuary Diary Tales or collection or whatever. But Jacob Elordi as
Hmm.
Frankenstein was fucking man. He's gonna have a lot of offers coming his way.
For
Like I
sure.
was looking at his filmography after this. Surprisingly, it's crazy when I'll be aware of an actor and I'll think they're okay. They got a lot of buzz to them, so they must be in a lot of projects. He's actually not done very
Yeah,
much, you know. Like this is his big break film wise, and I think we're gonna see a lot more of him. Man's a
for
fucking
sure.
stature, like he's 6'5", bro. It's
He did you
crazy.
he did Euphoria, which is
Euphoria, yeah,
huge. I haven't seen that. He
same.
did Saltburn, which I didn't see. I never ended up watching that. At one point, we had a
That
plan
was
to do it.
we should cover that one. That was an interest. You know what? You know what's very similar. I meant to bring this up to you and Stu the other day. Because what's his face is in it? The you know the kid with the eyes, and he was the Joker in the new Batman. Um,
Oh, I know
he
what you're
was
talking about.
he was the movie the Killing of
Well,
a Sacred Deer.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very similar to that movie. Like he almost
Really?
plays the same role. Yeah, it's
In
weird.
Saltburn?
Yes.
Hmm. And dude, the other one, do you remember him in the Mortuary Collection?
Hmm.
Yeah. He's great
Yeah,
in
but he was
that.
playing
He's
the
so good
jock.
at that.
Is he the one where he got this? Like he got pregnant in that, right? With
Yes.
the okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
great. I mean, I think you're totally right. Like he's gonna be a big actor that's sought after. He blew me away. You know what's funny is the whole time that I watched it the first time, I thought he was Nicholas Holt. I don't know. I don't know why. I think I had just seen like an
I could,
image,
I could see it, bro.
right?
I think they're actually both oddly enough British. He might be
Mm,
Australian, Jacob Elordi, but I could see it. Like they do have like it's like in the eyes. Like Jacob Elordi is like a more rugged version, look,
Right,
defined looking version of Nicholas Hoult. Like
right.
Nicholas Hoult has softer
If
features.
Nicholas Hoult got slapped with a handsome stick,
Yes,
he
he
would
would
look
look like
like
you.
Jacob Elordi. Yeah, for sure. Unbelievable though, but he was honestly even better when I thought he was Nicholas Hoult. I was like, I can't believe it. I was already prepared to tell you it's like he took what he did in Warm Bodies and he applied it to Frankenstein. That's what, but this
He
guy, he was so like. You remember the scene where he gets the leaf and he's letting the leaf go down the aqueduct or whatever the fuck that thing was, and the way he's like
peaceful.
crawling with it was like so artful and tasteful and like I don't know, it was so cool. And I was honestly really impressed. Like I didn't think Nicholas Hoult had it in him, but either way, this guy Jacob Elordi, he is fantastic in it.
And he was like, dude, the thing shit. He was like, there's like subtle moments in this movie that I was like, man, this is like people are giving it their all. Like when he first is brought to life, and or shortly after he's brought to life, and Frankenstein is or Victor is chaining him up, and he's like looking at his fingers. It's
Yeah,
reminiscent of a baby looking at their being fascinated by their own hands and shit.
that's
Like,
awesome.
and it was it just. I don't know, for him to be a young actor, and this was supposed to actually go to Andrew Garfield at first, so I thought that was interesting. Like
Wow.
it was gonna be because Andrew Garfield is much more of a name, Jacob, especially if you're looking at the filmography, done way more stuff,
Right.
and it's just interesting that I think I actually remember Garfield saying something about how they might have been they were willing to wait for him, but he said he wanted to give it to like a fresh blood or so give someone a shot, and it's cool because it definitely played out. Like Jacob Elordi was it's just he had a really cool look, man. Like I think that it's definitely Del Toro's visuals that helped with the look, but it's like there's something about
Yeah.
his acting that brought it brought it to
Dude, for
life.
sure. The especially like the scenes with him and Mia Goth. God, I don't know why it's Goth. I don't know why I said it like
I
that,
would
but
say
some of the scenes with them together. There's one in particular where they're like sitting down having this like intimate moment, and like the sadness in his eyes like blew me away. Like how like
so
vulnerable
much
you got to
emotion.
be
Yeah,
to do that. I don't know. It just looks so good. It looks so different than also than like what we're used to or what I'm used to from the Frankenstein monster.
I'm glad you brought her up. Actually, dude, okay. So I love the movie, but I almost feel like her character. I get the point of her character, but
Mm-hmm.
she really didn't do too
There was
much.
something missing. I was gonna say the
Yes.
same thing to you, bro. First of all, I thought she was amazing. Let me say that
Yeah.
first. Like she is. I said this like before, like a couple movies back, a couple horror movies ago. For her, it's like her plan is like she's like I'm gonna be the greatest scream queen ever to live, and she's just taking nothing but banger horror
Just legit.
projects.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though this isn't horror, this is like almost like the perfect thing for her to take. It's still
Mhm.
in that world. It's Frankenstein, so it is horror in a lot of ways, even though it's really not. But it's also her spreading her wings a little bit and going in a direction that I've never seen her go. Using her own British accent, I'm sure it's tweaked and taken less modern, but it blew me away. She's got this way,
Yeah.
and she does this in the Ty West films too, where she's like on the verge of crying while she's talking. You know what I mean? She doesn't
And
cry.
it's like unless it's not a non-annoying version of what Kirsten Stewart from
Right, right.
the vampire movies does.
Twilight. Yeah,
Twilight, she's always shivering. And it's like, bitch, are you gonna cry? Are you about to crack? Like, what's going on? Like,
that's funny.
choose one. But yeah, Mia Goth deliver. It's funny you bring up. It's like I was thinking about her performances or her doing other movies, and it's like even I don't know what's going on with Marvel's Blade movie, but she was attached to that for a while,
Right,
and that's horror related. Even if it's in the world of comic books.
right.
But yeah, there could be more. There's definitely probably more on the cutting room floor when it comes to her. Did that? I don't know if they showed her face. I watched this twice and I didn't fucking bother to pay. Did they show her face? Because she played the mom. She played young Victor's mom at the beginning, but I don't know if they ever showed her face because if
Oh,
they did, it would give more reason as to why he had such a fascination or a deep respect for her, even though it's his
the
brother's
are you
girl.
talking about the Victor's mom's face in the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah, they do show her. I can't remember what she looks like. It
it was
said
Mia Goth.
it's Mia Goth played the mom too.
Mhm.
Really? Oh, I did not know that. Really?
That's what it kind of ties into why Victor had such a fondness for her.
Shut
She
up.
reminded, yeah,
I read that the dark angel, like that vision that he keeps having, which I get.
yeah.
I wasn't trusting AI when I was trying to ask it questions about this because there's so many adaptations and I wasn't fucking 100% about anything that it told me. But according to AI, that stuff isn't in the book. Like that's unique to this movie. But it was saying that the dark angel kind of looked like me, his mother. But interesting, dude. How did I not notice that? How did I not know? That's cool.
No, you know what? That's what I had to. I was just that's like I was looking up, we're doing little fun facts research for the film, but that's not even something I like. I said I watched it twice, and I don't think they show her face. Maybe there's. I think there's some, like we said, there's something missing. I think they did shoot a lot more footage with her, and she had some scenes, but just I don't know why. I feel like they should have gone the distance. After seeing the Lord of the Rings extended cut, bro, it's like if a film warrants it and needs that time, go for it. Like, because we do make jokes about, films being too long and dragging, but it's like after seeing that, I saw these, I watched this last Saturday or Sunday, and then Lord of the Rings Fellowship Extended Edition. I had to squeeze in very tightly on Monday, but
you don't squeeze that in.
That's hard. I spent all day watching that.
Yeah.
But no, usually I like with movies like more than like 2 hours. I'm like nowadays I find myself like But no, with these two watches in particular, I was like, no. Sometimes films necessitate that runtime. Like they need that.
This could have been longer.
Yes,
I agree.
yeah.
Before I forget, so it's funny, like like Mia Goth, that sounds like a stage name. Her full name,
Is it?
her given name is Mia Gypsy Mello da Silva Goth. So it's like
Makes sense.
Yeah, she just shortened it up. Yeah, she's got a wild ass name.
Mia Gypsy would have been cool though, or Mia Mello, or those are all like
all of them. Yeah, right. They all would have worked. I was gonna say the thing that to me feels like it's missing, but I guess it's not because it's not in the original book. But like, were you expecting her to become the bride at the end?
Yes, I did.
Right.
That's what I feel. I think there's more to her character that I think they left on the cutting room floor because it's between her being a mom and then Victor having a fascination, fondness for her, and then Frankenstein having. So it's like if there was an edit there where they kind of toyed the idea of her becoming Frankenstein's bride,
right,
it make for a more compelling story because you got all these factors playing where it's like Victor's got a fondness for her. They kind of have they're kind of a rapport, but she's clearly favors Frankenstein's his monster more, So it's like he would be jealous, and it kind of plays into the whole parenting thing. It's like sometimes parents can, unfortunately, there's some parents that will probably be jealous of their kids, like they didn't achieve what their children did. It's like I wish I would have done that at a younger age, or subconsciously too. So there's a lot of, I think it would have made, there's a lot of themes at play here. I think it would have made the things that much more deeper.
Right. Like we could have got more with her in three ways. We could have got more with her and the monster, which it feels like we should have got a little bit more.
Yeah.
We could have got more with her and Frankenstein, obviously, or we could have made her the bride at the end. And that's another thing, like I said, when I was talking to AI about it. I've read the book, it was a few years ago, and it's a big book, and I don't remember it super, super well. But in the book, that's not like she doesn't become the bride. It's a different character that becomes the bride. And they never even actually finish making the bride in the book. Victor destroys the bride. It's the same thing where Frankenstein comes and wants make me a companion, and they start to make it, and Victor freaks out and he destroys everything and rips her apart. And everything. So it's kind of like a combination. I just thought that that's the route that they were going to go. I wanted to see Mia Goth as the bride, not necessarily the fucking hair sticking up like Marge Simpson.
Yeah, like I thought that was a missed opportunity. Like I thought that would have just been like a cool, even Easter egg, like after credit scene or some shit where it's like maybe he learned from Victor, and you see if like Frankenstein assembling his own. I don't know how long she's been dead at this point, and how her body would have decayed, how much her body would have decayed. Maybe, embalming fluid, they have to have had that.
Right. Time, They had it. They had fucking ice. Put her on ice. This is Jay saying, when I saw the little girl in the movie, I was very scared that Frankenstein monster was going to drown her like he did in the OG movie. I don't remember who was a little girl. Do you remember? I kind of wish they would have.
They replaced. I don't remember. Maybe when he found the family, but in the woods when they're telling the story. But I don't remember them focusing on the kid.
Oh, maybe there was. Yeah, maybe they.
But I almost felt like they replaced that type of relationship with the old man. Like that was the old man that was blind. He could have easily just kind of went to town on him and was very caring of him.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember a little girl. Christopher Waltz. I didn't know he was in this movie until he showed up in the movie. And I was like, bro. I was like, because I was already way into it at that point. And I was loving the performances. Then he shows up. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is so perfect. He's like, the two roles that he plays, I really don't know. Maybe if somebody could remind me of them. But I don't know his roles outside of the Tarantino movies, really. But those two roles in Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained are like two of the coolest roles anyone's ever played. So, and in this, we didn't even get too much of him, but he was, fantastic in it for sure.
Still, yeah. Even the dude from he's usually in the he was in The Witch. He's got the deep voice.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I can't think of his name, but the dad in The Witch, yes.
Yeah, that was a cool little cameo. But Christopher Waltz, man, I would say that the Tarantino films are definitely his defining performances, but he's been in some cool things. Like he's usually kind of playing a similar dude. He's in Attila Battle Angel, the anime movie that came out like 2019. Robert Rodriguez.
Okay, yeah. He's in Tarzan, Old Guy, James Bond, Spectre. Bunch of shit.
That was an interesting one.
He did a French Dracula movie that came out this year. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just would have thought that he would be like an even bigger, you know what I mean? He should have been everywhere after his work with Tarantino. It's kind of surprising that he hasn't been in that much huge shit.
Because Hollywood, there's ageism in Hollywood. I think they're slowly getting over that. But he was like one of the shining examples. Like I remember when I forget what is it, best supporting he won an Oscar Academy Award for best supporting actor in Inglourious Bastards, and which was kind of shocking at the time because that was like his first big break, and he was like well into, I think he was like in his mid 40s, late 40s, and most people don't find success like that so late in life. He was like he's an older man that became a top tier actor.
It's like Ricky Gervais.
Yeah. In a lot of ways. But
Jay's saying that there was a little girl with the family.
I was gonna say I remember they didn't really focus on her too much though. I thought they would. You know what they did? They did. It was was it Jace? Was it right after? Because remember he's like feeding the deer and he shoot it in the head and he like.
All that shit. All that, yeah, he's part of that family. How about that moment though? That deer moment. That was so good.
I thought he was gonna go crazy. I was kind of like, okay, where are they gonna take this? Like, I kind of thought like maybe it was gonna be a moment where he's not aware of his own strength and he's gonna unfortunately like accidentally kill the deer in a way. Mm-hmm. But that the shot to the head, the Bambi shit, still took me by surprise. I was like, God damn, man, like. It was an interesting movie. Just it's you said this earlier. It's like it's really not horror, but it just. Maybe it's because we empathize with Frankenstein. Like we see how he's like. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of like parental themes that like.
The monster or Frankenstein.
The monster, Frankenstein's monster. Like
kind of both of them though. Just the way they go back and give Victor's backstory. Which
like
I think
kids aren't asked to be brought into this world, right. So it's like the kids owe parents nothing at the end of the day. It's always a parent's responsibility to make sure their kid is succeeding, thriving, feeling the best of themselves. Like it's not on your kids to make your name look better, or to like there's a lot of cool themes that they were playing with. I don't know. I've never really empathized with and like you said, like. To both of them, like at the end, like I think when Frankenstein's monster said like maybe we can both finally be human, like that is some true shit, because it's like neither one of them were wrong, like
Right.
Victor Frankenstein was suffering from the traumas that his father brought upon him, and he
Right.
unfortunately kind
Did
of
the
like
same thing.
yeah, but he was he luckily enough had a moment of clarity at the end of his life to realize what he had been, the cycle he had been condoning or enabling, and there was a bit of grace to that.
I'm trying to look through my notes right here because there's a line that Mia Goth says. Something about like just Victor. He keeps saying Victor, Victor. She says something along the lines of, man, I wrote it down. I wish I could see it. I wish I
Bro,
could
let
find it.
me
I mean,
say that real quick while you're trying to find
no,
that.
no,
One
go
of
ahead.
my favorite lines in the movie was at the end. We were, we're talking about him on his deathbed, and he's like, it was such a powerful scene just because, like I said, it was like Victor Frankenstein acknowledging like he had kind of become his father, and like the pursuit of trying not to be his father and outdo his father. And like, it was when he said like, call me Victor, like my father gave me that name and it really meant nothing, but he's like, call me Victor. And he was like the first time when it meant the world to you. And that
Right.
was really, it was a really, very touching scene because it reminded me of just like, bro, you can identify, or parents out there can identify. It's a little tickle you get. It's a way you feel inside when your children call you daddy.
For sure.
And that's what I felt that they were conveying. Like, that was really cool. That was a really cool moment. A powerful moment. That's
It's like it's almost as good as when your wife calls you daddy. You know what I mean? It's like it just hits
it's
you.
up there.
It's you where you want to be hit. No, for sure. And that's the thing. Like a line like that. That's what this movie does really well. Like I could be in the mood where I'm like, fucking so corny.
Yeah.
Call me like you called me a middle what meant the world to you. It's like, oh my God, gag me with a spoon.
Cheesy shit.
But I ate the whole thing up. You know what I mean? They do
Yeah.
it so well that it's awesome. And I wonder if some of these lines are from the book because it's obviously written that way. The line, it's really similar to the line I was looking for. Mia Goth says to Victor, perhaps for the time being, that word, meaning Victor, that word means everything to him. And that's what really made me realize, like, oh, just like when he was a kid, his dad meant everything to him. And now he's
That's
doing
what he's trying to.
not the same shit, not exactly a mirror to it,
But
but
no,
he's not
there's a lot of
appreciating the
similarities.
relationship, and he's got his mind focused on everything else. And it had me thinking, just like the whole thing with like man's obsession with their work. And it's like, why do men work or why do women work? But like, looking at it like through evolution,
Yeah.
we work to provide for the family. That's how we're wired to do, right? You're just wired like that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna farm, you're gonna do whatever you gotta do to provide for your family.
Yeah.
But it's that same mechanism that can go
Makes you
that leads you to obsession and like workaholicism and being obsessed with shit, which distracts you from your family. And that's like that line. That's what this movie in so many ways is about, is exactly that. Like with the sailor at the end, again, it's kind of corny. We're sailing home, boys. Like he, you know what I mean? He learns that lesson through Victim's story. And I loved it. I loved how like not necessarily on the nose, but kind of on the nose. Just kind of like I don't know. It was really, really good though. Really well done.
That's some powerful shit, man. Like I know, you will like because of his obsession, he kind of like she was me got to trying to convey. He was frustrated with the fact that he could only say Victor. Like he didn't understand. Like
right.
Maybe that's like me. God said that's what means the most to him. So that's what he's conveying. Like like he wasn't focused on it. He's like, oh, I've got this thing that this person I've created that loves me with you with all my faults. I need it to be better. I need it to be more. And his obsession trying to like it's once again it's all these generational curses like his father's need to vicariously live through Victor and to make sure his name was top tier left traumas on Victor, and then and therefore it left traumas on young Frankenstein's monster, that because Victor had his own unresolved trauma and shit like that. Takes it was I like that moment at the end just because it's like I almost feel like where they both kind of broke the cycle, where because Victor's acknowledged like, bro, was fucked up for what I did. I didn't know I wasn't aware of what I was doing. That and in return, that that gave his monster a chance to kind of have a weight lifted off his shoulders and
Right.
go and live his own life instead of trying to, because that was like a subconscious drive for Victor. Is like everything he did, whether he knew or not, was trying to outdo his father. His whole life
Right.
resolved around that, and that's no way to live a life. Like he took that burden off his child, Frankenstein's monster, at the end, so he could go out and not have that trying to like, why
Right.
was I not enough for Victor Frankenstein? Like he felt he wasn't enough for his dad. It was a very deep movie.
Yo, super, yeah, very much so. I'm oh, what was I just gonna say? I love the structure of it. I
Yeah.
love the way it started with the story at the beginning, kind of always always comparing stuff to Forrest Gump esque. You know what I mean? And it's how the book starts too. But I love it. Like it turns out you've been telling the story this whole time. Flashback, touch base a few times. I love movies like that.
What
What's
I
that
what I thought was
Stephen King book or movie where they're in the old folks' home? Is
Cocoon.
is the Green Mile like that? Is that the Green Mile I'm thinking? Yeah, the Green Mile, where the old man is telling the story the whole time. Anyway, I just love it. I'm a sucker for movies like that. You know the
There,
Green Mile?
I no, I've seen the movie. I haven't read the book.
No, I mean whatever. The movie does the same thing. Oh, here's what I was going to ask you. Here's what I was going to ask you, man. Should we prevent death? Like, I was thinking about it. Like, if we could, I don't see why we wouldn't get to a place, unless the world ends, that we can get to a place where we can maybe not prevent death. Yeah, probably like almost fix it. Even if you get hit by a bus, I could imagine where they can like put you back together and bring you back to life. And it's like it would lead to so many issues.
A lot of ethical issues. I mean, it would boil down to could just unfortunately money result makes the
Exactly.
world go round.
Who gets
It
to
would
live? Who
revolve
gets
around
to
who has
come
money.
back?
Yeah, in time. If you've ever seen that movie Justin Timberlake, where it's like everyone's got a
Mm-hmm.
currency, it's like you get they in this world they figured out a way to make everyone live forever, and it's like, but in order to kind of nick the overpopulation problems, like everyone lives to 25, and if you got the money to live afterwards, buy yourself more time, you can live longer than 25. But the general life expectancy is like 25. Like you got good 25 years
Interesting.
core. After that, your clock time's out. But no, it would kind of boil down to something like that. Like Elysium kind of did this movie with Matt Damon did something similar to this, where it's like, if they had the technology to, if you got cancer or whatever, it's like they can cure you, but it's like only people who had the money, it's like
Right.
everybody else. But if it's like we got to that point, what would be like, something would have to change, because it's like we can't live forever and keep producing people. You could live forever and there
Right.
be no kids, no new spawn or anything like that.
We're just gonna run. We're gonna run out of resources, and I don't know if we get to that level of technology, then maybe we could also figure out the ways around like the issues, space stations, super high rise buildings, people living in the clouds, things like that.
Yeah.
But it's like right now we're in the situation we're in. We have an aging population. You know what I mean? We're extending life, and there's all these issues just coming up from that, social security issues and just a lot of issues. We like
I was
so
just
many.
having a comment about the conversation about my mom with this the other day, like how our generation, we got to come up with a new game plan. Like that Social Security is not going to be how it's been a staple for years for previous generations. Shit's running out, if not already out.
Unless they figure something else out.
I mean, we will have to, but I don't know. That is, yeah, it's. I remember a few years ago, Elon Musk was talking about how more adult diapers were being sold than baby diapers. I don't know facts into that, but that is an
That is
interesting
interesting, right? That's a
correlation.
big deal. That does see, yeah. It seems like it would be an issue. It's just definitely going to make
I
a
mean,
lot
but
of
at the
fucking
same
issues.
time, a lot of like sexual kinks are at an all-time high. So it's like maybe those adult diapers entail an area connected to
Jay
that.
saying, I think The Outsiders also has a reveal that it was someone's life story being told to the audience. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other movies that are like that. I love them though. I love movies like that. What's the one, The Princess Bride, where you've got the little kid from the Wonder Years, Fred
Oh yeah,
Savage,
yeah, Fred Savage,
getting
yeah.
the story told to him the whole time. The never-ending story, in a way, is kind of like that. Just where you keep touching base throughout the story, maybe just once or twice.
To
Either
make
that, or
sure
like
it's in
maybe
there.
you don't. And
Yeah.
every time, like, oh fuck, I forgot that this was a story the whole time, a story within a story type of a thing.
You know, it's man, you had it's crazy. Like when they had introduced, I distinctly remember checking when they not when they introduced him, but Christopher Waltz was at the castle saying, "Whatever you need, my men will build it for you."
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 40 minutes into the movie, and I was like, "Man, there." I said this to myself, but it wasn't like in a bad way. Like, they really haven't done shit. It's been a lot of setup for the last 40
Right,
minutes, but it's not bad setup. Like,
right.
you still enthralled by the whole journey. Like I like the chapters too. Like how it was like the first half was Victor's point POV, then the second half was his monster's POV, and then it
Right.
came to accumulation at the
Were
end.
you surprised? Have you seen other things? Because I remember when I first read the book, and it was when I was a mailman. It was when I was delivering mail, and I was listening to the audiobook. I was really taken aback when he becomes articulate, and I was like, "What the fuck? Am I this Frankenstein?" Because he doesn't do that in the movies, in Bride or the other ones. He speaks a little bit,
Did
but he's like talks like the monster. Still, he never becoms articulate, and it's weird that that's what we think of. Like most
when you think
people
of
would
Frankenstein,
never say like, no, he never becomes articulate. But
did
yeah,
he have
that's
the healing ability and like is that Frankenstein
no,
thing? Okay,
that's
that
new
that
too.
that
He
kind of makes me think like he has advanced his brain is
mm,
it could learn quicker because he can synapses or whatever.
right. It's almost like he's a child, where
Yes, yeah.
you absorb a lot more shit. Just like you're saying, how he's looking at his hands, the way that like he observes, because it's the same thing in the book. He goes in the woods. He's like stalking this family in a way. I don't think he's like in the house with them like he is in this. Maybe he is. I thought he was like in the woods,
It was a
just
weird
kind of
design. It was like
watching them.
the barn was connected to the house where it had this fucking hole where it's like
Yeah, it was like
you
mill
somehow they
gears.
missed. Yeah,
Mill
yeah.
gear room. That's what I was like, why is nobody using this room? But I guess the room is just for these to house the gears for the mill or whatever. But in the book and in Bride of Frankenstein, that's the best part. That's like the best part is when he meets the blind guy and all that. For whatever reason, when I watched this movie, I watched it twice this week, like I said. When I watched it the first time, I was like, I don't think they're doing this justice. I thought it was like too like Lord of the Ringsy or something about it. I didn't like the look of it or something. I don't fucking know. But I really, really loved that part the second time. It was just like had to just be, I don't know, I had to get used to the route that they went with it and the look of it and everything. But so good. Like that's like such like a touching part. And that's never what people think of. Like modern people, when they think about Frankenstein, they never
I,
think
I
that. They just think the monster version.
I think like in terms of the look with the family, I think it was like a good contrast to like the bougie high end fashion, the high end life that it was in contrast to Victor
Right.
Frankenstein. Like they were people of the earth and sprayed the
Right.
forest spirits and stuff.
I don't know what my deal
Um,
with it was. I really don't know. It was just something. It was almost too
kind of
whimsical
threw you off.
for
Yeah,
me. Yeah, it
I
just
yeah.
threw me off at first. Something about it, but it was. I mean, I thought it was like a little corny, and I think maybe I was even getting used to like the monster switching and him being the narrator. It just like kind of threw me off. Had to look into it. I'm like, how the fuck long does it take for a man's hair to grow from being bald to chest length? And it's like 3 to 3.5 years.
I to be honest with you, I was when he's like talking to the old man, I was like, man, bro, like you got quite a head of hair on you for like how much time has passed. Like even if a lot of time has passed, I feel like you're dead. Your hair growth shouldn't be that good,
Right,
my man.
right. It
Like
should
I
be a little
don't.
spotty, a little
Yes, yes,
spotty,
yeah.
maybe even
But
gray.
yeah, the cells are dead. But okay, speaking of that scene, since we're on it,
Mhm.
the werewolf scene, or not the werewolf, but the wolf scene nitpick, but it just bothered me. There's some cool shit going on, like when he like skinned the wolf as he like trying to pull it off of him, rips his skin off and
Yeah, he like ripped
cracks.
one's face off, kind of.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
gnarly.
very
But
gnarly.
I
Yeah,
just was like, why did it all have to be CGI? You know, I mean, I think because they went the distance in every other aspect of
right,
this film, that it was very jarring to me. That was like,
dude.
you
I
guys
guess
couldn't have.
there was a lot like I don't know. There's something about like not the filter. There's not a filter over the movie, but there's something about the movie that makes like things that aren't CGI look CGI. I don't know how to
Yes.
explain. Like I thought,
Yeah.
I looked up again. Could be fucking wrong, but it was saying like the boat was really built. The laboratory, I guess, like what you see in the
The
background here, like
backdrop.
all that
Yeah.
was a real set, which looked real. Definitely
Mhm.
looked real. But there, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of like the skies, at least, were CGI. Like everything was so beautiful, so like ridiculously like gorgeous that like I don't know. Maybe I was just thinking some of it was CGI that was just amazing sets. It was, I don't
No,
know.
I think that there's, like, because that did stick out to me. Like when the laboratory and stuff, like the kind of contraptions he had built. Like I was like, man, they really went the distance. Like we need shit like this in films. So I
Right?
definitely think that was real. I don't know. I think there was minor usage of CGI in this movie, and the only thing that I'm sure there was definitely more used in other areas, but the only thing that really stands out to me is the wolf scene where I'm like, you guys,
Yeah.
even where he's like cracking the wolf, you couldn't have made it like a real wolf and enhanced like its movements
Right.
with CGI or something like that. Like I don't know, kind of. And then this is a very minor nitpick, but when they zeroed in on, not a nitpick, but something that just threw me off. But when they zeroed in on like the black wolf with like the missing eye, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, it felt like some Mia Goth shit. I was like, is there a scene we didn't get that there's supposed to be like some
Hmm.
significance to this wolf coming at him taking, clearly I got
Interesting.
like that wolf was the alpha because as soon as he
Right.
fucked that wolf up, they all scattered.
I wonder if it was maybe a nod to the book or something. Like if that
Okay.
wolf, you know what I mean? If it was, I don't know. I don't
The
remember.
look of it, yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
But that shit was great. The guy that played the old
What's
man, really,
It
really
probably
good.
isn't, but he reminded me of the dad from Hellboy, the scientist dude that finds Hellboy. I
Mm,
think he actually passed away, so it can't be him. But he reminded me of him.
I'm trying to look. I got him right here. Oh, I didn't know that that was him. It's David Bradley, who's in Game of Thrones. He plays that creepy old son of a bitch in Game of Thrones. I can't, I can't. He
Oh, the
plays
one
the
who's always
old man.
acting old, who's but incapable, but is actually kind of a pervert or some shit.
He's I think at the Red Wedding, you know what I'm talking about? I
Yeah,
think
John.
he's like the Lord of the Cross. They got to go to him and get to use his bridge and shit. But yeah, he's like a pervy old man, 83 years young. This guy, I did not
Oh,
recognize that that was him because he usually play, or at least in Game of Thrones, he plays like a pervy old like bad
it's not
guy.
someone. Yeah, maybe that's what threw you off the subconsciously. Like, yeah, I don't trust you, motherfucker. There's something
Right,
about you.
right. Let me see what else I want to get to. I feel like we got to a lot. I did want to mention a couple lines. We said a couple earlier. There was another one. I wrote that down too. Now I can't fucking find it. It was early on in the movie. Oh, when his mom dies. Such a good line. It's one that it sounds kind of corny just because of the language, but talking about his mom says she was life. She
Mhm.
who was life was now death. And like that is like such a good line. You
It
know
was
what I
so
mean? Like
poignant. Yeah.
the mother that is life. That's what birthed you. And now when he thinks of death, that's what he's gonna think of forever. That is like the definition of death.
And it was like, and it's just layered meaning too, because it's like he only had solace and comfort in his mom. Like, with her there, it was only his fucking dad down
Right.
his back, and he didn't have that comfort. So it was like the any comfort or peace he knew it was just a cold life after his mom died. So it was, it sounds corny, but it's very powerful and poignant
For
at the same
sure.
time. Like
So
it's
yeah, I love a good line, man.
yeah.
I love when Christopher Waltz. This is interesting. Christopher Waltz, who is dying, I think of syphilis, is what they say.
Yeah,
The fact
sadly,
that,
man.
first of all, the fact that he's a photographer, I thought was cool. The fact that it's a new art form and someone that is obsessed with preserving life and making life immortal would get into photography. that's like preserving
Just
something and preserving
capturing.
life. So I feel like
Yeah.
that was kind of done intentionally. I don't know if he's part of the book or not. That's something I meant to look into. But I love when the chick that he's photographing is, you took another bite of the peach. Like, isn't that, I don't know why it's such a small thing, but I loved that. It's like, this bitch
I
will
like
not
the
quit
line
eating
he
his
said.
peach.
What do you say is like a night with Venus will give you a lifetime of Mercury or something. You know,
I
something.
missed that line. That's good though.
Yeah, a lifetime. You know what they say? A night with Venus will give you a lifetime with Mercury. With
Yeah,
Mercury,
because Mercury was like their medicine, their cure for syphilis. They thought.
how
I
far
doubt it.
we've come, man. That's he was drinking it.
How about
Man,
them inspecting the bodies of the men that were about to be hung to use their body parts? There was something so cold about that and fucked up. They're just looking at them like they're cattle or like they're like machine parts or something. Like that was fucked up.
that that scene reminded me of like Gangs of New York for whatever reason. Like I was getting
Yeah,
Gangs of New York vibes during that scene. But I
for
did
sure.
like the line where he's like, he's inspecting one dude, and Oscar Isaac is like, he's like, "You're lucky to be hanged. You to be dead within a
Right.
year." I was like, "Yo."
The autopsy, like, because I had this on. My kid is running around, and I'm like, whatever. I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's like a real horror movie. This is a drama period piece. It'll be fine. And then when he starts cutting into that leg, when he does like the not the autopsy, but whatever he's doing, you know what I mean?
When he's
He's
assembling the shit.
disassembling parts, yeah,
Yeah.
disassembling and assembling, gnarly. That was really
You know what?
fucked up.
That I'm glad you brought that back up because that reminded me of something I meant to say earlier. It's like I haven't read the book, but I appreciated the little extra length Del Toro went with this movie in terms of like I feel like anytime I've ever seen like a Frankenstein movie, he's already a mad scientist who's got his shit set up. It's like they
Right.
gave you an origin to him. Like he had to have like a benefactor, and he
Which
had
I
to have
think is new.
Okay, that's cool. It's even if it's not new, that's a great layer that's often
Right.
overlooked. That it gives that context. It's like, okay, this isn't some he had to like compromise in a sense. And then when you bring in the Christopher Waltz character, adds even more backstory. Like you say, he wanted to capture life, and photos are immortal in a sense, and it's like he even wanted to be immortal. Like his whole idea of why he even funded Victor Frankenstein was like, I'm gonna be in the body, I'm
Right.
even somehow,
Put me in
gonna be,
there. I loved
yeah.
that. He's, no, you are whatever. You're infected or so, whatever word he uses. Yeah, it was so good. I loved his death scene too. Like just snap when he
But
smacked the
back,
ground, his head busted up. And Jace Hurd has a good question. It says, "Question: What Universal monster remake made by Del Toro would you want to see next?" I'm
I
up
already got
for
an
any.
answer, bro.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
Even werewolf, just because I think he could add. We don't have many banger werewolves, and Del Toro
Mm-hmm.
would bring the thunders to something like that. He would make it visually captivating,
He
at
could do the
least.
same thing where he just follows up on Robert Eggers, like, "What'd you do last?" All right, I'm gonna do something. Just oh, never mind. I'm tripping, thinking he did Nosferatu and then he did Frankenstein. What am I thinking? But werewolf will be great. That's a great point because we don't have enough. The love story in Dracula, just because I
I
think he
think
would do good with that. He
yeah,
would
he
do
would
good with the
knock it out the
look.
park,
The look of everything could be amazing.
bro. Shape
They
of
could make
Water,
the Dracula character more interesting. I think he could do a good
yeah.
job with that.
Instead of like Dracula, because Nosferatu, Dracula always kind of comes off like the same asshat. I think he would kind of give like a compelling stance to Dracula and his machinations as to why he operates, where you're almost like, damn it, bro, maybe Dracula's not the villain.
Right.
Where we
Right.
always kind of tend to see him.
It would be cool, right, to see a Dracula, like see him get bitten. See
Yes.
like that story
What
of
led to
Dracula,
the
starting like 200 years before the regular story, then kind of cut off with the guy showing up at the castle, like how the movie normally started. That
Mm,
would be a cool take on it.
I would, you know what? I would love to see him even though he probably never would because it's so oversaturated. I would love to see Del Toro's take on zombies as well,
Fuck
just
yeah.
because I love zombies.
I would love that too. He loves zombies.
Oh,
Yeah,
does he?
Sal's got a great point. Says Hunchback of Notre Dame, that would be badass. Or
That
Notre
would be
Dame.
so interesting. Yeah.
He says he's heard that he wants to do a Phantom of the Opera, which would be perfect for him.
Ooh.
And that's something like we have never. I mean, there's been a lot of Phantom of the Operas, but there has not been a modern, popular, like mainstream movie that, you know what I mean, that younger
I
people
remember.
will watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they have. I haven't seen one in like the last one I seen was like 2004, 2003. Had like Gerard Butler in it, Emily Ross. I think Gerard Butler was actually playing the Phantom. Emily Rossum from fucking Shameless was in it.
Huh.
I have not seen that in
Jesus
years. I
Christ.
don't remember liking it, but I was
Eh,
16 at the time. It was not really in my wheelhouse.
I could not fucking type for the life of me. Phantom of the Opera movies. I don't think.
Oh,
Oh shit!
Jekyll
It
and
just
Hyde
came
would be
over.
cool.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde would be great. That's another one that there hasn't been a modern remake of Jekyll and Hyde. That was really, really good.
That you see, I feel like that and Werewolf kind of in the same. I think maybe Jekyll and Hyde would resonate more with people since it's a
Right.
and it's kind of like a shout out to the whole.
And
Ooh,
Invisible Man, you're right. Dude, fucking do it all. Do them all,
yeah.
Del Toro.
I would like to see his vision, his on every classic Universal monster. To be honest, I trust him.
I had just another fucking. Oh, I unhighlighted it. Oh no! Whatever. It's just other like moments that I really liked.
Does it towards the
Oh,
end?
this is one thing. This is one thing I liked. I like that when he makes the monster, and then right afterwards he says this achievement felt unnatural and void of meaning. And to me, that's just like what almost anything. It sounds so bleak and like depressing, but like you're fighting for something, you're trying to get something, and then once you get there, it's very rarely like it's like super satisfying. It's like, oh,
Got
okay,
a
well, fuck,
movie.
I guess I
The
did that.
journey,
That's human
the
nature.
journey is often more rewarding than the
It's
destination.
everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. It
And
makes me
I think
think of
that
Paul McCartney. Or no. Oh no. There's a movie called, or there's a song called "Fixing a Hole." On fixing a hole where the rain gets in. Anyway, it's about like once you fix that one hole, you turn around and there's another one. It's like son of a bitch. And
yeah,
Pink Floyd has other lines, another line that's really similar like that. And and then one day you find, or whatever. Once you finish the shit, you turn around, damn, there's another one. And
I
I used to always
remember.
think that was a really psychedelic thing, but it's more of
No,
just like
that's
life.
that's some real shit. No, yeah, I remember learning that harsh truth at like it was like around 19, and I had I had my job for about a year, but it was like, man, I thought when I had a job I'd have money to actually do shit, like buy all this dope shit I wanted. And it's like it seemed like at the time it was like I had a car problem, take care of my car problem, and right after that, when I fucking save my money up, something else pops up, and I'm like, what's going on? Like my mom's like, that's kind of how life operates. You got plans
Right.
that, and life tells you otherwise.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Another John Lennon line: "Life is what happens to you while you're busy making
wait,
other plans."
yeah,
That's
it's so true.
always stuck with me, dude. That always fucked me up.
It's
Always.
so true. So true.
All right. I
Oh,
think
yo,
we.
real quick,
Yeah. No, please.
the younger brother, I liked him, but I feel like it's almost like Mia Goth. I feel like there was some shit left on the cutting room floor in terms of
Right.
their whole. Because it's like I get what they're going for when, spoiler alert, the brother was like killed off. Unfortunately, trying Victor met them again, or no, Frankenstein's monster met Victor, but when he said, I was like, always, I always feared you. I got that he was always trying to appease Victor, but it's like we didn't see too much.
Right.
I even I thought, they didn't really explore the fact that Victor is so fond of his wife, and his brother
Hmm.
didn't really have any
They
thoughts
didn't
on
tie
that.
it in really. You're right. It's like
Yeah,
it's like they left some shit. It is imperfect in those ways, but at the same time,
minor.
it's hard to fault
Yeah,
it because it does feel like it flows so well.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I like when a movie like, oh damn, we're at the end of this thing. You know what I mean? Like it really does kind of feel that way. And the way it does it, where it's like there's an hour left and they tell the monster's tale. So you're like, oh damn, I'm an hour and a half deep into this thing. There's an hour left. And then like it has a way of like when it does the monster stuff with the old man, that's like a half hour of really good shit. Then that's over, and it's like, bam! Now we're wrapping shit up, and it's like, it really, really, really flows well. So I can't fault it too much. But I'm glad you said that right off the bat. Like we both feel like there's something missing with Mia Goth's role, and I think it's because that's not her role in the book. I don't know. I'm not 100%, but I don't think it's that big of. I don't actually. I'm not even fucking 100%. But I don't think that that's his brother's wife in the book. But I could be wrong. Okay. And I don't think she necessarily has a relationship with the monster that she has. But again, I could be wrong. It was very confusing to try to look into that to figure that out. But I think it's because it was switched and it wasn't written prior.
I will say, if Zack Snyder can get multiple cuts for his Netflix movies, bro, like let Guillermo del Toro get the extended cut for this.
Hell yeah! I'm glad that we did this, man. We weren't planning on doing this one, but I'm really glad we did because it was excellent. I'm really glad it's one that I sat down and watched twice too, and just like I said, I enjoyed it the first time. I fucking loved it the second time. It was like really,
there's so many little details I picked up that second watch. Like I'll do second. I've learned a lot from you with second watches, but sometimes I'll just kind of like a second watch, and I guess I'm not doing my job and picking shit up. But it's like this second watch, I was noticing a lot of more subtle things that did things the problems I voiced on here were kind of initial things I had qualms with my first watch, but my second watch, like you said, it flows so well. It's like I'm not mad at the movie for not exploring those different avenues. Right. It would be cool, but the final product.
Like we talked about before. I think about like what Wes was saying when we did Dawn of the Dead is like you're not expecting like, oh, the movie's just kind of chill for a minute. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when you're watching this the first time, you don't know how long this stuff is going to go on with Mia Goth and all that. How big is this going to be part of the movie? And I don't know. There's just something about the flow of it. But once you know where everything's going to go, there's something like, I don't know. It flowed a little bit better for me.
No, well said, yeah.
But I say we done did it, my brother. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Let's rate this thing out of 5. You guys in the chat, if you've seen the new Frankenstein flick, give your rating out of 5. I'm going to kind of struggle with this one. I'll let you go first.
You know what?
Have either of us really said any? Well, I guess other than the Mia Goth thing, I don't really have any issues with the movie, and even that's an issue of like what isn't there. It's like it feels like there should be something else there. There's nothing that's there that I don't like at all.
It's all minor nitpick stuff, and it's like at the end of the day, the craftsmanship that went into this movie, like the performances, the production, just the thematics and the writing, and like even the dialogue, like you said, it's old timey, but it never feels like fucking like we were confused as to what they're trying to convey. Like they get the gist of it. It's all very well done. It might just be like honeymoon shit, but I'll go ahead and give this one a solid 5, man. I think this is, in this day and age, a film of this
caliber. Right there with Brother Jace.
Oh, yeah. I think this one is going to be talked about from years from now. Like, you know, even like Lord of the Rings is not a perfect. It is actually a perfect. It's a 5, but you know, like not everyone probably will find that one be a 5 because maybe it's the duration. They don't like. I don't know, you know. But this one, I'm glad I watched it so closely back after revisiting Lord of the Rings because it's very reminiscent of the craftsmanship
fit well together.
That goes into this.
They do fit well together, man.
And I hate to. There's movies and filmmaking. They're all like movies are films, films are movies, but this one feels like I hate to be like the person. This one feels like a film, not a movie. You know, like this is art on this, and it's so rare in this day and age in 2025. Coming from Netflix to get this kind of film. So I was very surprised. Like this had me thinking about, we were aware of this movie when it was coming out and we were talking about the back chats. And, I was like, man, even when we were talking about the trailer, I was like, I don't know about this one, man. Like it's cool, but I'm a little trepidatious, but like they quickly put all that to rest, and it's like like, man, Netflix can actually produce some fucking films, like
Right.
some really grandscaping. It's
For
just
sure.
it's a 5. Yeah, that's a 5.
I hope it's like a good sign for the direction that they'll go with. You know what I mean? Not every one of their original movies is going to be like this big of a thing,
Yes.
but it might make some other directors be like, "Oh, I can go there to make a movie this." Like, and
Yep.
I don't know how it works. I guess it won't. It's just going to be on Netflix. They did the limited thing; it's part of the deal. But I
They
feel
did
like
that so they
I
can
would
get
like to
Oscar
see this.
nominations.
Like, yeah, put this out a couple years from now. Let it go to theaters then once it's ran its course on Netflix, because it's like like I can see it
This would
being
be an
like
epic, bro.
the definitive Frankenstein. Like
Yeah. Yes.
maybe not next week, but maybe like 50, 60 years from now, 100 years from now, people think
That's
of
gonna be
this
the tale.
as the
Yes.
one, like the
Hmm.
Frankenstein
Yep.
movie. Hell
I
yeah.
agree with
I'm
that.
right there with you guys, man. I'm going 5 out of 5 for sure. It's a weird one, man. We haven't really done anything like this. Other than like I'd say it's the least horror thing that we've done outside of Poor Things, which is
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah,
like
which
a
is the
Frankenstein
Frankenstein.
tale with more of a twist to it, which was awesome in its own right.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
also crazy. It's like one of the things I almost should have opened with, or I definitely probably should have opened with, but it's fucking crazy. This book came out, if I have it right, it came out in 1817.
Wow. 1817?
1818. It was
18.
called
Jesus.
the book. The book is called The Modern Prometheus. Was the actual title of the book.
Interesting.
What's interesting? Look at that, 1818, and Dracula came out in 1897. So that's like we think of, oh, I just think of a Frankenstein and Dracula like they came out a week apart from each other.
Yeah.
This is old as shit. It's so old.
Almost
And it's
80
like
years.
it's the first horror book, like recognized as the first horror thing that was ever like a big deal, and the first science fiction thing that was a big deal. So
Ooh.
Mary Shelley, I don't know. This is also something I definitely should have opened with. Remember the story? Like they were hanging out. She was with a few friends. It was a stormy weekend, and they were hanging out at her estate or someone's estate because they were rich motherfuckers. And it was like, what do we do? I have an idea. Let's have a competition and see who can write the scariest story. And she's like, okay. And she just came up with this shit like on a weekend.
You
And
know what?
the other guy was Lord Byron, who went on to become the inspiration for
For
Dracula.
fucking Dracula, yeah.
There was stories written about him that it
Wow.
was like the inspiration for the first aristocrat vampire. And it's interesting that the movie ends with the quote, the Lord Byron quote, which I just fucking loved. It says, "And thus the heart will break and yet brokenly live on." And it's like, it's so good. It's like he's went through all this shit. In the book, he says he's gonna go kill himself. Like it implies heavily he's been through all this shit and he's gonna go off and kill himself. And in this one, he's looking at the sun and he's basking in it,
He's
and it gives you
embraced life.
that line: "Your heart will brokenly live on." Because what the fuck else are you gonna do?
You
You
know
know what I
what?
mean?
This I
Other than
hate
kill
to
yourself.
Man, shout out to Cowboy Bebop, but Cowboy Bebop always I hate to glaze this one, but it's such an easy one. But it's like they have this line where it's like you're gonna carry that weight. It's like, yeah, bro, you like life comes at you, like shit happens. Like you're either gonna be defeated by it or you're gonna give in. You're gonna collapse from that shit,
Right.
and you're gonna fucking carry on. And that's what Frankenstein chose to do, man. Like it
And
fits though. It's such a and it's a cool little given the origins of how it all came together, like
right.
that's even cooler that he gave like the Byron quotes, because it's tied to Mary Shelley and it's like they were friends and he's the inspiration for Dracula. No, real quick, one something you said reminded me of this, but it's like there's like these old pictures of like people sitting around like a piano like singing and shit, and like people
Mhm.
used to do that shit because there wasn't radio, there wasn't television, there wasn't internet. You had to create your own forms of entertainment to a lot of degrees. And so it's the her like let's sitting around a campfire and like or sitting
Right.
around in a
The
party like
campfire
let's come up
tale.
with the craziest story. Like that's shit people did back then. Like who could come up with the scariest tale, like I wish we could kind of almost. Man, this makes me feel like I feel old lately, and I've struggled with that. But it's just like I find myself like, oh man, I wish we could go back to like the early 2000s, like when you logged on the internet at a certain time, you logged off. The internet wasn't around 24/7
Right.
hitting you as soon as you logged
It's
on.
me and my buddy just spent on the way we went to the Bulls game. We were like an hour and a half away from the United Center, and the way home with a couple beers in us, safe amount of beers. We were
So
talking about that like the whole time, like this technology, we can get the fuck away from it. He's big on like you're never bored. Like I'm everything I do. If I'm going to cook something, I've got YouTube over here. I'm like,
something
listen
in
to
the
things on
background.
fantasy
Yes.
basketball or whatever, and like you almost think like, oh, I can feel every second. Like part of you, the positive is like, oh, I'm just like soaking in knowledge all the time. I'm learning things, right? But like you're never
You're
bored. You
bombarded.
don't. Your mind. We're not meant to be like this.
Yeah, so we don't get a cool down period to absorb. We're constantly in absorb mode, and it's like
Right.
it's almost like being ready. You got to be ready instead of like, okay, I've absorbed this, I've taken it in. Let me, see how it resonates with me. It's like, okay, I've got this information. Let me get the next information. I get more information.
Right.
Something, man, you're speaking the truth because it's something I've found myself like. I remember maybe like it's a blessing and a curse, but like this whole comic YouTube community, I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I found it, but with that entails like I didn't know who the fuck any YouTuber was in 2019. Like I remember my friend
Right. I
actually
didn't even
has a
use YouTube
fairly
like that. My wife
no,
did, but
yeah,
yeah, I didn't
yeah,
even use it
yeah.
like the way I use it now.
I had a fairly successful friend on YouTube. He makes shit kid videos, but he's got like fucking a million subscribers. But it's
Mm.
like he would always ask me about fucking YouTube and this and that. I'm like, bro, I don't watch YouTube. But like anytime you reference a person, he's like, well, they've got this many subscribers. I was like, well, I'm not one of them. So apparently, they're not reaching every demographic. But it's like back then, I didn't like now. Like you made a very valid point about always needing background noise. Like if I'm just sitting there thinking, let me put on a video. Let me like maybe watch
Totally.
something. Like I
Do
didn't used to
you
be like that. Like it.
do you bring like because I usually do like just think about like, oh, I came up with this idea in the shower. It's like a thing. You come up with ideas in the shower. It's because there's nothing in there. Well, there is for me. Usually, a lot of times I'll bring my phone or I'll have something in there. I'll be listening
Mhm.
to a podcast in the shower,
Same,
and I probably
same, bro.
shouldn't.
Yes, yes. Bro. There's been many times where I'm getting ready to get in the shower. I've even hopped in the shower and I have to get out and be like, oh, I don't have
Yeah.
my phone or my tablet. Like I can't
It's
just take a
terrible.
regular shower. I got to be
It,
listening to something.
it's so tricky because I assume so many people are like that. A lot of people don't even like think of it as a negative, and maybe I'm dwelling on it too much.
No, no, you're right.
But and let's wrap this shit up. But I'll just say like me and my wife were talking about doing like we're calling it the Black Sabbath, but it's basically like a Sabbath thing. I think is that a Jewish thing? On Sundays they don't use technology or so anyway, whatever.
Oh,
The
no,
point
yeah, I feel it.
the point is what we're talking about doing is like just like pick a day of the week, no phones, no nothing until the end of the night, and then we'll do a family movie night. Just
Yep.
something where we're unplugged for
You're
the day, and then we
unconnected.
can
Yeah.
watch a movie at night as a family.
That's it's I'm glad you wrote that up because that's something I've been practicing myself. Like, I'm a single father, but it's like I need to, so I don't see my kid throughout the week, unfortunately. But on the weekends, bro, like I've made it a point to like I kind of like I won't say I won't never, but as of the last couple months, like when my kid's over, bro, and with him, like I'm not doing any streams. Like, the streams I do with Marcus, like before he gets here, and it's like after that, I'm done for the weekend. Until Monday morning. And that's, I don't know. I feel like it's helping me. But it ties into your Black Sabbath thing. Like it disconnect from the or
Right.
the
Unplug
world at
from
large.
the
Yes,
machine. Just
yes.
just for a fucking hot minute. Even today, like my wife taught me to go into Goodwill, fucking put a bullet in me. But anyway, I went to Goodwill, which I hate. She wants to go there like every day. She loves it.
I love
But
good.
I fucking but anyway, like I'm gonna leave my phone. I'm not even gonna bring my phone. And it seems like such a crazy thing to do. But it's like, I don't know, just every now and then just
I'll
like
feel.
fucking leave this thing behind.
Bro, all right, we'll wrap this up. But it's just like this is something that's been really weighing heavily on me. It's like I was thinking it back to like I didn't give in to like having a cell phone until 2012. I got the Galaxy S3, but before I didn't get my first like cell phone until like 2010, 2011. Like I was so like that used to be my excuse. Is like I like that people aren't able to get a hold of me at any given moment. Like I'll get back to you when I get back to you.
It was a better world,
And
man. It really was.
Yes.
People showing up back in the day. We used to go to people's houses. You ever seen the stand-up bit? We had this thing. It was called company. We got company over. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Have you seen this video of his dad teaching his kids how to knock on doors to ask for kids? Like some kids are so it's crazy. You know, it's not crazy, but it's like simple things that we are so ingrained in us, like how to, hey, can someone come outside to play? Hey, how you doing? I was just wondering if such and such could come. Kids, that's so non-existent. Like cursive, it's non-existent with kids these days. They don't. It's like he did multiple takes with his daughter where she's like she knocks on the door, and he opens up the door and she doesn't say anything. He's like, you knocked on my door. He's like, you addressed me, and it's like
your
the
turn.
second take. Yeah, it's yes. I miss the early 2000s.
Right, and it's not just the kids; it's us, and that's why the kids.
It's us, yeah.
Like that. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's depressing. Let's move on. No, but all right, hell yeah, man! Great conversation, great movie. 5 out of 5 from both of us, and still haven't seen it, man. I own it, but we're doing it, man. This one is on the HBO. It's on the Max, as the kids call it these days. Weapons, probably like I feel like it's the most hyped up, talked about horror movie of the year, maybe outside of Frankenstein, at least at this moment. But I'm excited to see it. I know you loved it. I know Stu loved it. You guys saw it like around the time when it came out. I own the thing. Yeah. I've yet to watch it, but
I was like, you own it. You haven't seen it yet. I'm glad that you're saving it though. You saved that. Yeah, the excited. Yeah, it's gonna be worth it.
Oh yeah, I'm excited, man. So next Thursday, right here, be here or don't be here, but you should be here. But what do you got going on? What do you want to? Mark talking about Marvel Zombies?
Marvel Zombie, yes, sir. I'll be revisiting that as we covered it here over Blood Splatter Chatter a couple months ago. Yeah. But Mark is his first time view for Mark. I'm always keen to excited to talk about some comic shit. Yeah, we got that tomorrow. We'll talk about some news. A lot of announcements that have been made this week, pop culture wise.
What, dude? And I keep forgetting. Like, is this live on the YouTube or what? I'm like still confused about what you're doing. What day and when? When tomorrow?
So for every Friday about 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah, every Friday 7 p.m. Eastern. It's something new Mark's experimenting with. Usually it was like pre-recorded, but he's like wanting to play with the whole live model, and I'm all for it. Get
for sure.
Chat and interactive. But yeah, just we got different themes coming up every week. I got to get better at this, just across the board, and even with your channel, you guys will send me the itinerary of movies we'll cover, and it'll be like the next week, and I'm like, I don't know what movie we're covering next week, but it's gonna be a banger. But yeah, Marvel Zombies, something amazing else next Friday. But yeah, just as I said earlier, helping them keep the lights on. As Jasmine takes her sabbatical.
Hell yeah, man! I love it. That's Geeks Unleashed. Find them anywhere you get your podcasts or on the YouTubes. So hell yeah, man! Keep an eye out for us again next Thursday. We're doing Weapons. Another thing I need to watch that I'm behind on, that you and me need to get together and talk about when we can, because we do plan to do it. We're going to be pretty 2025 horror heavy from here till the end of the year. You and I are going to sprinkle a bunch of them in, but if we could find a way, I want to watch this Welcome to Derry and talk about that too. So
okay,
we'll talk about this. We'll figure out a time that we could do it. Maybe a Monday coming up. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out, but keep an eye out for that, folks. All you guys in the chat, Jace, Hyun, Sal, you sexy sons of bitches out there. Really appreciate you guys. Rogue popping in. SoCal Dan. Appreciate you guys. And we will see you on Thursday for Weapons. Assuming I can find this button. Where's the button? Found it.